I'm hooked on feeling. Let's try it again. This time with let's
That's okay.
One,
do we get a
two,
starting now?
1, 2. Ah!
Hi.
Hey,
welcome
to roommate. Welcome to Roommates Review.
Welcome to another episode of Roommates Review.
Yeah.
I am your roommate, Liam.
And I'm your roommate, Evan. And we just reviewed a movie. That's not true. That's a lie. I'm sorry for lying.
It's a good prank. It's a good bit.
We watched a movie. We watched a movie. It was called Guardians of the Galaxy, and as far as I know, it's still called that.
Yes.
So, I would say, just from the get-go, very good movie.
Yeah, it's a fun movie.
It is a fun movie.
Right away, I'm going to compare it to Thor Ragnarok and say that Guardians of the Galaxy does the goofy well and appropriately.
Oh yeah, it does, and it mixes serious and goofy very well.
Absolutely.
Even the tone of the movie is set in an interesting way, where it's really sad at the beginning, and then it's just like taken off into space, right? But speaking of the beginning, I really liked the way that they set up each character. They did it quick, and they got it out of the way. You learned a little bit about Peter Quill. He's from Earth.
Yep.
That's it. He did his exploring thing. He
danced around.
Yeah, he's a Ravager looking for items, and then they set up Gamora really quickly.
Yep.
Of just her being a daughter of Thanos, and she's with Ronan, and then Rocket and Groot. They set up just buddies who were bounty hunters.
Bounty hunter boys.
Yeah, and then Drax comes later, but I mean, in the very beginning, they do that real quick and get it out of the way. They don't bother. They don't dwell on like the origin stuff. They don't spend like 30 minutes telling us Peter Quill's origin.
Yeah, they get right into the action. I'd say at no point in the film do you ever feel like it's kind of dragged out or.
I can't completely agree with that, but that's
Give me an example.
I would say the second maybe scene where they're flying around doing air combat, that does start to just drag on forever, because they do that like 4 times in the movie, and aerial combat is not easy to make interesting.
Right.
It's mostly characters reacting to something. You see them in the cockpit, and then you see flying metal things flying around and exploding. It's like, and that happens in a lot of sci-fi.
I can see that.
And I understand it happening like once or twice in the movie, because I mean, Liz in space, and that's kind of the whole goal of it. But I think it'd be much more interesting to see Peter Quill kind of fought like he did before with the guns when he fights the guys the first time.
Right.
That's an interesting way to fight. And, you know, it kind of limits Drax and Gamora and stuff if you got them confined to these spaceships fighting. It's not Star Wars.
Right.
You know? But, that's just one negative. And it did feel like it dragged on a little bit. But, as far as any of the other action scenes, whenever they were doing hand-to-hand combat and stuff, usually it was very good. Anything with Groot in it was good.
Right.
Groot's really fun.
It's fun because you can see their combat style is very off the cuff. Especially Peter Quill, you can tell that it's mostly improvised. And
right, yeah. He's not trained as a fighter. He's just been doing this for a while, and now this is kind of his style. And obviously Rocket has his own unique style, and Groot as well. Gamora is the only one who's a trained assassin. So, they're kind of goofy in the way they fight. And it really reflects in the tone of the movie. So, I really like that. But the best part about the movie are the characters.
Yes.
Because almost every single character is really good.
Almost.
Yeah, almost. Of course, I love Peter Quill and Chris Pratt playing him.
Crisp Rat.
Yeah, Crisp Rat. And I really liked Groot and Rocket. Both funny, both very good characters.
Yeah, they're dynamic.
Yeah, Drax, of course, is the funniest.
Mm-hmm.
And it saddens me what they did with him in like the second Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
But where he's real serious and stuff, it's great. They completely ignore him not being able to take things literally later without any explanation. But yeah, the Drax is so good. I like Gamora a lot too. They're all really good. Ronan is a good... He just, like... Good... Just seems evil. The way he's presented.
I feel like he was the weakest character in the film. I think he had some really good lines. And his acting is very good. But I don't think he's an engaging villain. He doesn't have that psychotic kind of fear you feel from the Joker. And he doesn't have that kind of, like, I can see where this guy's coming from. And that's scary in its own right.
Yeah.
He's just kind of generic, I wanted to destroy things.
Yeah, he's here for revenge. I think personally that guy's voice, I don't know who the actor is. His voice is really, really good. Like, to elicit fear in that way. As far as him not being, you know, what you're saying in comparison to the Joker or something along those lines, he didn't feel like he was a main focus of the movie. Which maybe they could have done that. They could have made him a more main focus since Drax was trying to kill him and you know, he had the Power Stone or whatever. But
it seemed to imply that he was the main focus.
Right, he was clearly the main villain, but yeah, the movie was so much more built around
the stone, I'd say.
The stone and not even just that, just the conflict of them coming together as a team. It was the conflict between all of the Guardians of the Galaxy. That was the main conflict, really. And yeah, maybe they could have spent more time on him and kind of developed him more, but mostly just had him as a revenge guy coming to kill a planet, and that's it.
Yeah. Yondu is far more engaging.
Yes. Yeah, and I think that's...
not to say that he's a bad guy.
No, but he's clearly an antagonist.
Right.
Throughout the whole thing. So, yeah, I think he was more of the main villain, the main antagonist, and...
For Peter, personally.
I wonder if Guardians of the Galaxy didn't have to tie into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, if even the whole Ronin plot would have been relevant, you know, with the Power Stone.
Yeah.
I think that maybe that kind of was a reason they had Ronin in the Power Stone, but because I think that wasn't as interesting. He was still good. Wasn't as interesting as Yondu, but if they would have focused more on that, that could have been better.
But at the same time, limiting the focus on Yondu makes him interesting in its own kind of way, because there's a bit of a mystery about him. Like, he has this whistling thing he does, and this magic arrow that is incredible.
Yeah.
Just a broken weapon.
It's the most amazing weapon in, like, the whole universe.
And they don't explain it. You only see it in use once, but you see it referenced. Like, he pulls his cloak aside a few times, and people are like,
whoa, okay, yeah.
Watch out.
Yeah, no, I don't want to deal with this. Right, yeah. What is there to say about this movie? I don't know.
That's the thing. It's another one of those, it's a good movie.
It's a good movie, but, like, I don't know. We didn't even say much as we were watching it.
No, we didn't.
You know? It just, like, it was good. It's fun. It's fun to watch. I think, yeah, basically I'm just going to be critiquing it of moments I didn't like of it. Because it's just, you know, it's so good from a foundation. It's funny. There's not much more to say about it on that front. I would say, though, that personally what I would have liked See, I wish they wouldn't have front loaded all of the songs, all the pop songs, because once you get into like the last 2 or 3 fight scenes, there's nothing.
Right.
They're not fighting along with that, and I feel like a lot of the charm is with that music, and you see Peter going with that. But once they're again doing the flying around in the air for, I don't know, there's probably like 30 minutes at least,
right,
of air fighting, maybe more.
But at the same time, it seemed like they were trying to do the music in a way that it's only ever playing when Peter's listening to the tapes,
Right.
like whether through a sound system or on his headphones,
Right.
or anything. Like that's the only time you ever hear that music.
Right, but that, I mean, I guess that's true. Was there was no time in the last fight scene he had a ship there that they did it until it crashed, that it was playing any music. You know, because he was in a ship.
Yeah.
And then they got onto Ronan's ship,
Right.
so I can understand not being music there. But yeah.
But while they're on their ship in the middle of this big aerial combat scenes, probably not, crank the tunes.
Well, why wouldn't he? You know, that's Peter Quill.
Right.
That's what he does, you know. I don't know. I just, it's such a big contrast between that music to the generic superhero orchestra stuff, you know?
Right.
And that you just don't notice. I mean, it's there, you hear, like, the horns, and you hear all the strings, but it's,
Now, it's been a while since I've seen the second one, but I want to say they found a better balance for that. Because I seem to recall there being those songs spaced out very well in that one.
Yeah, I remember that, but I remember they personally didn't like the song selection as much in the second one. And 2, they replayed Brandy too many times.
That's true.
They didn't play. They didn't replay any songs in the first one, but yeah, they did like 3 times. They played the song. And it's like, okay,
yeah, we get it.
Yeah, I get the.
Like you could have just had him. You could have just had it playing in the beginning when Ego's, in the car, and then have him word of mouth say the song later, and then be done with it.
Yeah, something like that. They played it up a little bit too much.
Yeah.
Okay, but you need to get out your list of things for us to talk about, because just from off the cuff, it's just such a good movie, it's hard to talk about it.
Yeah.
That's weird. It's weird.
How does that work, though? Because we loved Civil War. We still had a lot to talk about with that one.
That's true. There's a lot to talk about.
Okay, so right off the cuff, actors. I think we already kind of covered that.
Yeah, I think all of the actors do really, really well in their role. Like, is it Batista? I don't know he could act like that. I've never seen him in anything else. I saw him in WWF for a little bit.
Right.
But
he plays some goon in a James Bond movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think it's Spectre. It's Spectre or Skyfall.
Okay.
And he's just big muscle head. I don't think he even has any lines.
Muscles. Yeah. He was a great pick for that role, though, because he nails it. I really, really like Bradley Cooper as Rocket.
Yep.
I think that's a fantastic choice.
Vin Diesel is Groot.
He's got a deep voice.
Yep.
That's all you need.
He was the Iron Giant. I
mean,
can't go wrong.
Vin Diesel.
A+ voice actor.
He insisted on doing I Am Groot in all of the languages. It's amazing. Vin Diesel's a psycho.
And yet, he's a treasure.
He's a crazy man. I don't understand Vin Diesel, but man, yeah.
What if?
Yeah.
They redid all the Fast and Furious movies.
Okay.
Not even redid, re-edited all the Fast and Furious movies and superimposed Groot.
Okay, so Groot is there instead of Vin Diesel.
Yes.
Okay, does he still saying I am Groot?
Yes.
Do they also superimpose Paul Walker into the later ones? Does he make it into the later films?
That wasn't the plan, but yes.
Okay.
But he's a cyborg.
Who's a cyborg?
Paul Walker.
Paul Walker is a cyborg played by Groot?
No.
No? Okay.
No. Groot is still Vin Diesel.
Gotcha. Okay, well, Vin Diesel's playing Groot. I was wondering if Groot was playing cyborg Paul Walker and only saying I am Groot.
No, Vin Diesel's already playing well, I don't remember his name. Dom. Already playing Dom.
Okay.
But they just took
okay.
Scenes from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay, so yeah, they don't even...
And superimposed, they cut out Groot and put them over Vin Diesel and the audio clips of Vin Diesel.
Okay. I like that. What if we take all of the voice lines from Fast and Furious and put them in where Groot's talking in Guardians of the Galaxy?
Okay.
Someone needs to make an edit of that. And then we superimpose Paul Walker there, driving fast. And then he dies the way he lives. How do you feel about that?
Dark.
Yeah, it is.
See, but now I'm imagining Paul Walker's face on Rocket Raccoon.
Oh man, just his face.
Just his face.
Just his face.
Like, you know those bad holiday things on Facebook where you put your face on an elf and it's dancing and singing and stuff?
Oh yeah,
one of those. That kind of quality,
but
just
yeah.
like a still image of Paul Walker put onto Rocket Raccoon's face.
I think that would be really good. I think that'd be unique, certainly.
Mm-hmm.
So, what were our favorite scenes?
Favorite scenes. You go first.
Okay, my favorite scene is the one where they're breaking out of prison. I think that's probably the best scene in the movie, which is unfortunate because it doesn't... That means everything else is underneath it for the rest of the movie, and that's pretty early on. But I really, really like it. It truly shows the whole, where each person fits into the group.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, it's not an air fight, so there's no... So each member gets to shine, right? And so the Rocket coming up with the plan, and as he's doing that, Groot completely ignoring everything and just doing whatever he wants, and then realizing that Groot's insanely powerful, and where he just takes on all those robots shooting him and all the guards or whatever. So with him there, and Gamora gets that guard's arm. That's fine, and it's so great of all the action going on, and then it just cuts to Peter Quill and the guy with the leg. He's like, "You want to do what with my leg? Or you want what?" or whatever it was.
Yeah, and he's
it just cuts to that real fast, and that was really funny.
Yeah, it's really good.
But I mean, it's perfect. It really shows that Rocket really is the brains of the group as much as Peter Quill wants to be the leader of the group. He's just not.
I can't think of a better scene than that, but I would approach that question from a different angle.
Okay.
I'm going to approach it from more of a cinematographic...
Okay, cinematographic?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Angle, and say there's that shot in that scene where Rocket Raccoon and Peter Quill are talking in the foreground, and the background is Groot doing his thing, and Drax just kind of staring at him, watching him do it, and that, I think, is a beautifully staged shot.
Really, really good.
Like, you're supposed to be paying attention to the people who are talking in the foreground, but there's this kind of thing happening in the background. You're not really sure what's going on. You're like, he's doing what they're saying, and that's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's really well done.
It's super well done.
And another scene, and it's hardly even a scene, it's just like a couple seconds, when they shoot the Infinity Stone, and it just hits it, and for that brief second, you can see Ronan's eyes looking at it. It's like a couple seconds, and it's just frozen in him looking at the stone exploding. It's like, that looks really cool.
Yeah.
Doesn't look as cool when it's slow motion and Peter Quill's jumping for it.
No.
But in the freeze frame of him just like, oh crap.
Yeah.
I think that's really good.
Yeah, I think it's really good. Just they had to be on the ground a lot for all that stuff.
So, that being said, with the when I brought up slow motion, what did you think of the visual effects?
Visual effects,
like CGI and all that. Were there any moments that stuck out as being kind of like, ugh, that's not great? There's one that I have in mind.
There were moments of just like, it's not kind of great, but in my mind, I would see that and just like, I'm also seeing this on this completely CGI city that they were in. The Xandar of it, that whole city is CGI, and you're like, you barely even notice it. Yeah, and I'm just like, oh wait, yeah, and pretty much everywhere they go is CGI. They don't have anything that's just not a completely CGI setting. I'm like, that's actually really impressive. So I can forgive on the little mistakes of something I'm actually watching.
My thing is very nitpicky.
Yeah, what is it?
When Drax is fighting Ronan, there's a scene where he just kind of you just see Drax and he's running and jumping at Ronan, and it kind of looked like early 2000s, like a werewolf jumping at somebody, kind of bad CGI, and then he gets knocked back, and it's very noticeably CGI, and it's kind of gross.
Right.
But that's the only part that really stuck out to me. Overall, the visuals were incredible. You brought it up, color. There's just so many colors and
probably my favorite CGI in the whole thing, besides that city being really cool, and I'm sure all of the people who were a different color, that was all CGI. I'm certain. And they may have had a base of something, but of Gamora, I'm sure most of that is CGI. But that you barely even notice. But the Nova Corps surrounding Ronan's ship with the yellow grid and all their really bright colors and stuff, that's probably my favorite part. It's so cool.
Yeah, that's really
awesome. So great. And then just being able to the movie was able to then just blow up all of those Nova Corps ships pretty ruthlessly. Like,
there are a lot of killed people in this film.
Yeah, and it shows
not just by the bad guys either. The Guardians kill a ton of people.
Right, yeah. Because, they kill. That's what, like, the Avengers, when you see that in the attack on New York, all of that is implied deaths.
Right.
That's all implied. None of it is like in Guardians of the Galaxy where you just see people die left and right.
Oh, yeah.
The whole movie, which is really cool.
Yeah, there's a large body count in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Groot kills like 6 people at once by being impaled on his arm and slams them into
I remember
the walls.
seeing that scene in the theater and I'm like, holy crap.
Yeah.
That's incredibly graphic in its own way.
Yeah, it's so brutal. It's just like,
Like, he not only impaled them, but then just smashed their bodies against the wall for like a minute.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's good. It's really good.
And they kind of ragdoll when he lets them go. It's brutal.
Yeah.
It's great.
It is. I really like that, where it kind of never at once does the movie make you think that they're 100% good guys. They're out there for good. They're good. Every single one of them are an anti-hero, basically. I mean, even you would think, Drax is pretty good. He's out for revenge.
Yep.
And what was the question he asked the guy at the end? Something if someone...
Yeah, if somebody, like, irks him or something.
Yeah, something
can I
along
rip
those
out
lines.
his spine?
Yeah, just like, they're ruthless and they do what they want. They were all in prison for a reason. They all had several counts on them, Yeah, so I think everything in the prison was probably best. I really liked how Xandar looked. I also liked Nowhere a lot. Yeah. That was very, very cool. Just a cool kind of city. That's something that I like about sci-fi. I mean, I usually don't like most sci-fi. Like, I don't go on my way to watch sci-fi, I would say. But what I do like is that they can have these crazy cities. And they often do. And just one of those cities is Nowhere, and all that stuff that's going on there, and it just, I don't know, the way it's all shaped is really, really good. It's so seedy.
Mm-hmm.
You can just tell.
Yes, it's really they set up really well by having Drax, Groot, and Rocket all at like a gambling institution,
right, yeah.
watching some kind of not a dogfight, but some kind of racing thing. They're all taking.
Like it was a I don't think it was racing.
Well, they were trying to get the rats from one end to the other.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
I assume they're taking bets on the rats to see which of them could avoid the creature that was eating them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I don't know what to call it. Honestly.
No, I don't know, but it was cool. It was the CGI on them wasn't great, but I mean it was the idea was cool. But yeah, having that gambling and all that. But another thing within that, nowhere was dark, right?
Mm-hmm.
But still had color. You know, it was dark and gray, but had color where it needed to, like those big vats of liquid, whatever they were. The bright yellow just looked so good.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like a lot of times,
it just pops.
A lot of times, like 2010 movies around that era, everything's just so dark. Like the Christopher Nolan Batman movies,
mm-hmm.
all very good, but they're so dark. Like almost, if you have a light on in the room, you don't know where Batman is.
Yeah, you can't see anything.
Right, but everything just pops in this. So, and I'm glad that Marvel really took that direction for later movies.
And they kind of fool you a bit with that, because the first scene you see grown up Peter Quill. He's on this bleak, desolate, dark planet.
Right.
And everything's black and dreary and wet, and there's no real colors going on.
Yeah. Not to the world itself. His gun, his time gun.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't.
Yeah, his weird time gun.
He's got a weird time gun that never comes up ever again.
No.
And I never and that's what the last time I seen this movie was in theaters.
Mm-hmm.
So however long ago that was, 2013 maybe. So however long that was, is when I saw it, and I thought maybe I just forget what happens with the time gun, because it's clearly something important. Because he goes and he examines the city, and he's able to find where the Power Stone is.
And it would make more sense if it was just structures.
Yeah.
If it was just kind of a record of this is what was here,
Yeah.
We can bring that up and show this was here, this was there, this was that. There would be records of that somewhere.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
But
yeah,
it showed living people, or previously living people moving around and
it's just
playing with a dog and stuff like that. How does that work?
What is that? What is that thing? What is that thing you have? How are you doing that?
I don't understand.
And why is it not? Why can't you use it ever again? Why does the occasion never come up to use a time gun?
And there's a lot of really cool technology in it.
Oh yeah, a ton of it. I love it.
Again, in that first scene, he has this gravity mine that he throws down.
Yeah.
I don't understand how it works exactly, because when he throws it down the first time, it just pulls on the ball, the orb, and not on him. When he throws it down the second time, it pulls everything in the vicinity to it.
Right. Yeah. He must have something.
Some repulsor.
Yeah, something along those lines.
Right.
Yeah, that's really cool, and I kind of do wish that they would focus more on that level of Guardians of the Galaxy, being able to be somewhere where Peter Quill's useful. I mean, really, because when you're fighting against the whole fleet of Ronin or whatever, he's not using all those things. He's shooting out of his spaceship.
He's using bullets.
Yeah. Yeah, not using all the very, very cool gadgets. It would be like if a Batman movie focused 40 minutes on him being in the Batplane.
Or the Batplane.
Yeah, just
any of his gadget mobiles.
Yeah, it's just they're just not as interesting.
Yeah. Another thing I appreciated about the film is that it was, I'll say this about all of them that are this way, it was insular. In that it's just focused on the Guardians. There's no references to any of the other heroes that have been introduced in the past, because the Guardians have no idea about them.
Yeah.
They don't know they exist.
Yeah.
Peter has a tenuous connection to Earth as it is.
Right.
He's from there. That's about it.
Yeah.
So
he clearly doesn't want to go back.
Yeah.
Because he easily could, I assume.
Yeah, the only real connection is the Infinity Stones and Thanos.
Right.
Other than that, it's its own story with its own characters.
Yeah. Right. And I think that just like I said before, that maybe that the thing they tried to tie in weakened the story a little bit.
Yeah, and I can agree with that. As fun as having the MCU is and having everything be connected and having all these characters interact with each other, it can be a bit of a detriment when it comes to telling the individual stories. Yeah. Especially if you try and shoehorn in those other characters and subplots for those characters' movies in the future.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
It takes the focus away from the current movie.
That's true. It could have just as easily them met the Collector and he already had the Power Stone, and it could have the whole scene where the slave girl that the Collector has comes and touches the Power Stone and explodes or whatever. Could have easily happened setting up the Power Stone was a thing. But having the whole movie focused around it, it didn't need a MacGuffin, you know?
Yeah, the characters were interesting enough that a MacGuffin was unnecessary.
Right, yeah. I agree with that.
We've talked about references. We've talked about pacing. Pacing was really good.
Pacing was really good in the beginning of the movie. I think it slowed down too much by the end. By the end of the movie.
I can see that.
Because it just drags on and on.
It felt like the siege on Xandar
yeah.
was a large chunk of the movie.
Yeah, it did. It kept going at the end there. I don't know why that is exactly. Why that would be. Maybe they had too many characters they wanted to resolve.
Maybe.
Going on that they set up and but yeah, there was so much going on with. It's not just the Guardians of the Galaxy versus Ronan. There's also the Ravagers involved now, and then the Nova Corps comes, and it's just so much happening at once that they're trying to resolve and get you. But I think it probably would have been better if they would have focused on just the Guardians of the Galaxy and had way more focus on them, or just maybe and kept them together where they were doing something, you know, and then you see little bits of the fight around, you know, but focus more on their part of it.
It was partly because the Guardians got split up.
Yeah.
And, you know, you have to look at each of them in turn.
Right, yeah. And because just that you can compare that fight scene right there to the prison break scene again, where they all had their separate parts of it, but they were all doing it together.
Yeah.
You know, they had their own, all together they make up, you know, the team, a good team, where they can do that. But when you split them up, it's not as, you gotta split your attention there, and it slows it down.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, but, man, just like... so many negative points on a movie that I really, really like. But yeah,
real quick, I just had a thought about Ronan. when you're introduced to him, he is in a bath of blood.
Yeah.
Which you don't realize until he just hammers a dude's head, and the blood seeps through these cracks into his pool.
Yeah.
So that's pretty metal.
Yeah, he's... Like I say, he's like scary. He's scary. They could have set him up better,
right? But
he was scary, and he was. They probably defeat him too easily, honestly. But because he fights Drax and just easily beats him. Yeah. Like it's nothing. It's not even. It's trivial, and he has the good line of how he won't. I won't remember you. I won't remember killing you either. Like, yeah, that's really good. That's. He's insanely powerful, and then that's reasonable when he decides, you know what, I'll take the Power Stone, and he can wield it. Now. It's like, okay, yeah,
Yeah,
this is reasonable.
He is a tough guy. All
right.
right.
Yeah. He's like, okay, this is a strong guy. He is someone, to fight. And a lot of the last fight scene does not focus on really fighting Ronan. They shoot him once.
Yeah.
With the thing, and he shrugs it off. I mean, falls down, which I didn't like. I wanted him to be standing there, just like Cell in Dragon Ball Z after the smoke cleared, or any Vega,
cool.
Yeah, because that was that moment. But him getting up was like, it shouldn't have hurt him that bad, right?
Don't really see him attack anyone in that fight scene. He kind of shoos Rocket away.
He knocks Drax back.
Yeah.
At the very beginning of it. He knocks Gamora back and just kind of... He's got infinite power.
He knocks people away. He doesn't really attack anyone.
I can understand him being like, if he wanted to, play with him, because he's got infinite power, and, he wants to make this last a little bit, but
I don't think he would have, because he's had this goal. I am going to destroy Xandar.
Right.
And them getting in the way, he's not interested in that.
Right.
Like, it's...
Yeah.
Like he turned his back on Drax.
Yeah.
On nowhere. He's like, I don't care about you.
Yeah, right.
You're not my problem. Right.
It just, I feel like maybe he thought I've already got Xandar. Like this is already going to happen easy enough. And Gamora did betray him. And so maybe, but he should have just basically killed all of them because he had the Infinity Stone. I'm not sure what Peter Quill's power level is supposed to be because he's supposed to be very powerful enough to hold on to the Power Stone for a little bit, but and he's half planet, however that works.
Yeah, half a celestial.
Yeah, half a celestial, but it's when they fight him, he just kind of knocks them away. Doesn't do much damage to them at all. And then Rocket flies in with the ship and takes him out.
Yeah, he hits both Ronan and Drax. Like, they get plowed over by a spaceship. Drax should be dead.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it doesn't really affect Ronan too much. But the, see, that's the thing. Talking about Ronan wasn't the main conflict. He's not even the most dangerous thing at the end of that fight. Because the most dangerous thing is them falling out of the sky and going to hit the ground. And that was the most lethal. It kills Groot.
The biggest enemy is gravity.
Yeah, is gravity. And it falls out of the sky and explodes and kills Groot. But, kills Groot and he has to save him, but then Ronan shows up again, and they effortlessly destroy his hammer with the shot. It doesn't even really show it though, which I thought was weird. Like they shoot, and then it just like cuts to the hammer exploding. I was like, why did you do that? Like, why didn't you?
It goes from one frozen shot to another slow mo shot.
But
yes, it was very comical, and it was fun to have Peter Quill do the like kind of dance off distraction thing.
I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, no, it's really good. I don't think he would have just stood there. I don't think he would have been like, "What are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?" He would have just killed them.
Yeah, he would have probably tried to kill him. But yeah, I did like that part though, a lot. It's just he's waiting to drop the hammer, and they do that a lot of they're about to give their big thing, like Nebula, who's the character is she's boring. Basically. But she's about to give her big speech, and then Drax just shoots her. It's like, that's awesome. That's hilarious. Yeah. That's a good, getting rid of the trope of all that. Just
who
like,
cares about
why would Drax want to hear what she has to say?
Yeah, why would you hesitate?
Just okay.
Any capacity.
Yeah, right. That's why, and then he was interrupting, Ronan in a similar way.
Now that being said, the delivery of the first "What are you doing?" from Ronan is fantastic.
Yes,
he's just so taken off guard.
Yeah, because he sees everyone else is in complete fear, and he realizes he has infinite power. And
he doesn't even have rage in that. He's like, "What are you doing?"
He's confused, very confused.
He almost feels for Peter Quill in that moment. He's like, you should be trembling in fear.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, right. And he should have been able to bring the hammer down. I really don't like, they did this in Infinity War 2, the limitations, the specific limitations they put onto the Infinity Stones of, we can't let him touch the ground, was the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's like, huh?
Like, don't hit the planet with the hammer.
Like, he said, because they said it grows off of organic material.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, what? Why? Like, but why wouldn't he just, like, from his spaceship shoot the Earth or whatever? You know, he's got infinite power. It's supposed to, don't call him Infinity Stones if you're not going to give him, you know.
As they say, infinity's not what it used to be.
Yeah, that's what I asked Liam. If all he needs to do is get to the ground, why isn't Ronan just jumping out of his spaceship and then landing on the ground like superhero and destroying the whole planet?
Yeah,
that would have been interesting.
Been cool.
That would have been really interesting if they would have actually. That's another thing. If they would actually show us show power instead of tell us what the power is.
And they kind of tried to do that with like the flashback that they have with the Collector of this big thing that isn't Galactus, but it's really big, and it just kind of sticks its hammer down, the staff down, and the planet explodes.
Right, yeah. They showed that the stone has power. They didn't show Ronan with that kind of power. It would have been interesting if he destroyed a planet.
Yeah. It would have been interesting if he'd done anything.
Yeah,
Ronan doesn't really do anything.
He doesn't do much. He doesn't really do much at all. No, he's searching for the stone. And then once he gets it, he decides, you know what? I'm the power guy now. I don't like you, Thanos. You're not my dad.
Yeah.
He says to him. And Thanos is caught off guard because he thought that he was his dad.
Yeah, that's why he keeps calling him boy.
Yeah, but he realized in that moment that he's actually not his dad. And so then he leaves for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, he's a little heartbroken. He has to go spend some alone time.
At least they kill Ronan.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Guardians of the Galaxy do. Peter Quill just destroys him.
Fries him with the power stone.
He doesn't hesitate to kill anyone. Why did Ronan, the
bad guy.
Yeah.
I did quotation marks there.
Yeah, the warmongering, revenge-seeking man.
Bathes in blood.
He doesn't kill a single person from Xandar that I can tell. I don't think he kills a single person from Xandar in that whole fight. Maybe, I guess the Nova
and
Corps.
The ship blows up half the Nova Corps.
The Nova Corps, yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah, but he doesn't...
He doesn't personally.
Yeah.
Well, he did shoot the laser into the ships of the Nova Corps.
Yeah. But, I mean, he didn't attack their citizens or whatever. He was going to destroy the entire planet. So he didn't care who they were. You know?
No.
I don't know why he didn't care about the people bowing down to him and being subservient or anything, I don't think, really. He just wanted to kill them all.
Yeah.
There's a pretty clear-cut goal there that he kind of failed on. Kind of messed up on. But, yeah. What else we got? What else we got on the list, boyo?
Well, what did we think of Stan Lee's cameo?
I liked that Rocket called him a prevert.
Yeah.
But
I really like that too.
I like that I mean, it was okay. It wouldn't have been as funny if it wasn't Stan Lee, that line. But yeah, it was okay.
It was okay.
It was alright.
Not the worst.
No.
Not the best.
No. Yeah, how would we rank it amongst the others, though?
All right.
Because that's important.
It is superior to the Spider-Man 3 one.
Yeah, definitely. Spider-Man 3 one's terrible.
Just awful.
Spider-Man 3 one's, by the way, where he just comes and he's just like, I guess there are heroes. Is that what he says?
Yeah, He-Man?
I don't know what he says, but that's my best guess.
Yeah, it's something super lame. And then he walks his geriatric self away, and that's it.
He skips away. Well, in the movie, he does. Yeah.
In the movie, he says Excelsior and then shoots off into the sky and explodes.
Yeah, right.
But that was more confusing than anything. That's why I got a low spot for
Yeah,
us.
it did, yeah. We don't know why that happens. Spider-Man doesn't stop him. Okay, above that is The Amazing Spider-Man 2, which is where he's at the graduation. And he's like, hey, I know that guy. There is a hero. And he goes, Excelsior! Like that. Which
that one's pretty bad, too.
And then Thor Ragnarok.
It's the hair cutter.
He cuts his hair. And
I think it's going to be below Thor.
You think so?
Yeah. Because the only thing that makes it remotely good is Rocket Raccoon saying he's a prevert.
Yeah,
and that's not Stan Lee doing anything.
That's true. It's just the other ones are so bad.
Mm-hmm. So it's inferior to Thor Ragnarok.
I could agree with that. I think it's probably worse even than The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
I'll accept that.
Because it's not even... Space Spider-Man 2, at least he's like, I'm Stan Lee.
Yeah, at least he has a line. Thing. Like, you hear him kind of saying something to the woman, but can't really make it out.
Okay, so it's worse than Amazing Spider-Man 2. Is it better than Spider-Man 3's?
It's better than Spider-Man 3's.
Yeah, it's better than Spider-Man 3's. Yeah, even though it has... Yeah, it's just Stan Lee. He's not saying anything.
Yeah.
And it's obviously better than Blade.
Yes.
Which...
Only because Blade does not have Stan Lee visible.
Right. Yeah. Well, we didn't see
Stan Lee.
But everyone knows that secretly Stan Lee was in blackface that whole movie. And then they CGI'd Wesley Snipes on top of him. But
so why was Stan Lee in blackface?
Because he's a horrible racist. And he wandered onto set, and they're like, I guess, I mean, he's Stan Lee, so we got him, and he kept delivering
Did
all
he
the
do
lines.
his own blackface? It doesn't even look good.
Yeah, it didn't look good. But that's a behind-the-scenes thing. Most people don't catch it.
Well, that leads perfectly into, then, is it racist?
Is this movie racist? Well, are there any black people in the movie? Like, black people. You know what I'm talking about. They got dark skin.
If there were, I didn't notice them, which might just make me racist.
The only... Yeah, that might be... The only black actress was green.
Right.
In this movie.
It's true.
So, am I trying to say that...
But green is another race.
Green is another race.
And I think the other races were well represented. There were green people. There were blue people.
There were red people.
There were red people. They talked about some... thing with tentacles and sharp teeth that Peter got it on with.
Yeah, yep. They did.
Drax is gray.
Yeah, and he's got the red. That's what I really like about each of the...
tree people. Or one, at least.
Yeah, there is. There's a tree person. I wish the Collector would have tried to collect him. That would have been great. Because he clearly wanted to.
Yeah, he said, I'll pay you for your body when you die.
Yeah. It's just, it's so good. And the Groot's on board with it. I love Groot. Groot's fantastic.
Mm-hmm. He's... I had this thought while watching, is that he's just R2-D2. Like, he just beeps and whirs, and then C-3PO repeats what he said.
Right.
Like he's responding to him.
Right, yeah.
So Rocket Raccoon was repeating everything that Groot said in response to Groot.
Right, yeah. He's always surprised by everything he said.
Right.
Yeah, I like that, but I do like the, no one picks up on speaking Groot in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And just, and Drax asks him that question, when did you learn to do that? And Peter's like, I'm pretty sure the answer's going to be, I am Groot. He's real frustrated with it. Why would you even ask that?
Yeah.
Clearly can only say one thing. But, is it racist?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. It's got a pretty diverse cast of races that aren't human, and then a bunch of white people. So sounds pretty not racist to me.
Sounds pretty not racist to me.
Yeah, didn't have any. I think Asian or black people or
almost entirely white people.
Yeah, they were all white people as far as I could tell. They were all white people. Yeah. What's the ethnicity of Dave Bautista? Do you know? Do you know?
I have no idea. I could theorize and just be more racist.
Okay, go for it. I'm ready for it. I'm going to say South American. I don't think that's right at all. Or Central American.
If I had to say that, I would have said some kind of Puerto Rican descent or something
Okay,
like
let's
that.
look it up. Let's look it up. Dave
Partly, not fully.
Bautista. Yeah, right. Okay, so he's. Why don't they just tell me where he's from? You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, he's American. Yeah, but like, where's his family from? Am I right? Everyone, back me up on this. Okay, Liam, you have to keep the people entertained.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello. It's not even funny.
Well, it could have been if you would have committed.
No.
Yeah.
I don't think it would have been.
I think.
Even with committing to it, I think that's a worn out bit.
Yeah. You know, back in the 1940s when it first came out.
Yeah.
I think the answer is no. He doesn't have any.
He doesn't have any race.
He doesn't have any race.
Dave,
it just says he's American.
Bautista is a singularity.
Yeah, it just says he's American. I can't find anything. I'd have to look further, and I don't want to do that anymore.
The purest of race.
Because I gave you a chance to entertain the people for 5 seconds, and you blew it immediately.
I am not entertaining.
Yeah, you blew it immediately. It was.
I crumple under pressure.
Yeah, it was rough. It was very rough.
And finally, what characters or actors would have made this film better or more interesting?
I was thinking you take Chris Pratt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Get him out of there. He's not in the movie anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Get him out of the whole movie, right?
Okay.
Instead, you put Kevin Bacon in the role of Star-Lord,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then it's really, really funny when he's talking about Footloose because he was in Footloose.
He was in Footloose.
But
was he in the remake of Footloose?
I didn't see it. If he was, he should have played the mayor or whatever. The town czar, whatever they're called.
The Kaiser.
Yeah, that's right. The Burgermeister.
Yeah, the fear
of Footloose-land.
Yeah, Looseville.
I've never ever seen Footloose, so I'm just making my best guess.
I watched the first part of Footloose.
Like,
no, you go first.
No, it's fine.
No,
you say your thing.
No, please talk about how you were in Footloose.
Talk
about how you're Kevin Bacon.
Well, I was in Footloose in a high school musical, and Connor Main played Kevin Bacon.
Not who Kevin Bacon played. He played Kevin Bacon.
He played Kevin Bacon, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. What were you going to say about Footloose?
Nothing interesting.
You just okay.
I was just going to say, I saw some of Footloose, and then I got bored.
Right.
And then I watched the remake with a bunch of girls, and I was also bored.
When you say the remake with a bunch of girls, do you mean the movie was just full of girls, or that you went to go see it with girls?
There were girls in the movie.
Okay.
And I saw it with girls.
Okay, so here's the thing. Were any of the girls the czar, or was that Kevin Bacon?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's been a few years.
Okay.
Since Kevin Bacon, do you have any other characters you think would be ideal?
Who's like I think that Arnold Schwarzenegger should have played Drax. Think of it. Think about it.
I think he should have gone back and forth with Sylvester Stallone to play Drax.
Right.
Like every other scene.
They shot each scene with each of them, and they didn't realize they were both playing the same character. Like, they think that they're the only one, and so when it gets to the movie theater, it's edited to where, like, what in the world?
What's happening?
Whoa, that's crazy. I thought that I was the only Drax in the movie, but it turns out that there are 2 Draxes. And also, what's his name? The guy. You know.
No, I don't.
Give it to me. The dude.
Dennis Quaid.
No, not Dennis Quaid. Not Dennis Quaid. What's his name? Ivan Drago in Rocky IV.
I just referenced it yesterday.
I cannot think of his name off the top of my head for some reason. It's there. It's right there, but it won't take it. Who's the most underrated actor of all time? I don't know.
Well, we're just going to call him Dennis Quaid. We know he's not Dennis Quaid. But we're gonna call him that.
I would like to see Dennis Quaid as the Russian in Rocky IV. That would have been really good. Okay, so Dennis Quaid, Sylvester Stallone, and Arnold Schwarzenegger are playing three separate Draxes.
Right.
That all exist from, they're all Draxians, or whatever his race is called.
Right.
Draxonians, maybe?
Sure.
Draxons, like dragons, but with an X?
Yeah.
I don't know.
They're all Draculas.
Draculas, that's a good one. And that's, oh, wow, okay, so there we go. We replace Drax with those three as three separate individuals.
Wait, who's the third?
Dennis Quaid.
Oh, okay. Dennis Quaid is part of that now.
Right, gotcha. Yeah. And the second, I'm still trying to think of that guy's name.
Give up.
It's not going to happen.
Give up.
And Gamora is replaced by Wesley Snipes playing Blade, so he's hunting Draculas.
Ooh.
Right? So this puts like a little extra tension on that. So
I feel like we're writing a screenplay right now.
Yeah, okay. Alright, so we got them. Rocket Raccoon, who would be a better voice?
I was going to say not even a voice.
Okay.
Someone dressed as a furry playing Rocket Raccoon. It's Sam Raimi.
Sam Raimi?
Yes.
Ooh, I like that. Sam Raimi dressed as a raccoon?
Mm-hmm.
Is it like a good raccoon costume, or is it like put together himself?
It's like
he made it himself.
Wilfred from the TV show.
Okay, alright.
It's like that kind of costume.
Alright. And I think we already figured out that we want Groot to be played by Paul Walker as a cyborg. So I think
I think it was originally supposed to be Rocket, but I'm okay with that too.
Okay, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, I forgot about that. All right, I think that's a really good core cast. I feel like there's a lot more tension in there.
Yes.
Who do we get to play Ronan now?
Who did we cast as Quill? That was Kevin Bacon.
That was Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon.
Right, but he still makes all the same jokes.
Ronan.
I think Joaquin Phoenix should reprise his role from Gladiator.
Ooh.
And play him again. And only he's Ronan now.
Right.
And he does the whole like thumbs down thing for the whole planet. Everyone cheers except for Russell Crowe.
Who is?
Thanos.
I was going to cast him as Nebula. So who's Nebula then?
Nebula is... Well, my first thought was going to be...
Peter Dinklage. All right.
Okay. I was going to say one of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but I feel like we've already scraped the bottom of the barrel on that. So
we've already dug that mine.
Yeah. But I feel like Nebula kind of looks like C-3PO. So what if... Who plays C-3PO?
I don't remember.
Who does the voice? John...
Knoxville.
Wick. Yeah.
Johnny Wick.
John Wick. Keanu Reeves as John Wick. As C-3PO.
As C-3PO playing Nebula?
No. This is a completely different thing. Yeah.
We're putting C-3PO in this now.
No. He's not in the movie. We were just trying to figure out who was playing C-3PO.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was just saying she kind of looks like C-3PO.
Right.
I didn't really have more to that as far as casting because we already cast Peter Dinklage as her. So
Peter Dinklage in blue drag.
Yeah. Okay. So now we have to think of what the best scene will be with all of those characters together. Is it when the three separate Draculas all shoot Peter Dinklage and knock him down, and then Wesley Snipes shoots all of them because he's been hunting them?
Oh man, there's so many to pick from. I'm really enjoying the idea of Kevin Bacon dancing in front of Joaquin Phoenix. Dressed as the Caesar, also dressed as Ronan.
Oh yeah, that would be really, really good.
And Russell Crowe calling Joaquin Phoenix boy.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that. I'm really excited for that scene with Thanos, Russell Crowe as Thanos on the screen, and Joaquin Phoenix is talking to him, and then you've got Wesley Snipes there, along with Peter Dinklage, all talking about getting the Power Stone. I think it'd be really good. What do you think would be a better fictional item for them to get than the Power Stone? What would be a MacGuffin that could replace the Power Stone?
Book of the Dead.
The Book of the Dead.
The Mummy.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Is Brendan Fraser in this movie?
He's in the book.
He's in the book.
Yes.
Okay. Is it like a pop-up book only?
Yes.
I've never seen The Mummy, so I'm guessing that the Book of the Dead is mostly just pop-ups of mummies and like when you open it.
It's like going through a haunted house, but in book form.
Yeah, it's really it's like a choose your own adventure pop-up book with mummies and stuff. Yeah, I can see that. So they're all going for that.
But every page is Brendan Fraser.
Right.
In every role that he's ever been in.
So George of the Jungle. That one time he was with all the Looney Tunes back in action.
Yep. One time he's on Scrubs.
Yeah. He goes to the center of the earth.
Yep.
He does. Brendan Fraser did a lot of bad movies. But Blast from the Past, that's a good movie. That's a really good movie.
The Mummy 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you haven't seen him, so you don't know if he's in the third one.
I don't know. Yeah. Trying to think what else Brendan Fraser's in. I think that's it. I think that's all the roles he's ever been in.
That's all he's ever done.
Yeah.
He recently got casted as some robot
Superman
hero in
Robot Cyborg. Is he gonna play Cyborg in the Titans show?
That'd be incredible.
Brendan Fraser as Cyborg in blackface, I assume.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Because. Okay. All right.
And Stan Lee does his makeup.
So it's really, really
It's
bad.
really bad.
It's really bad. Oh man, I'm so excited. I really want to see the whole scene of Russell Crowe as Thanos, right?
Mm-hmm.
Taking Wesley Snipes as Blade and throwing him off a cliff to get the Soul Stone.
Yeah.
The whole like emotional scene of how he loves.
Mm-hmm.
He loves Blade so much, and Blade just like completely stone-faced about it. Like,
I think we're gonna need to start writing down who we've casted as the other characters, and then make sure we're not contradicting our list. And then once we get to the end of this, then we'll do a kind of look back.
Okay, so we don't have any other. This is the only MCU movie where we've done this, where we've replaced the characters.
Is it?
Spider-Man 3 and Amazing Spider-Man 2 were the other ones.
Oh, that's true.
So, this is a whole new cast.
That's true. So we can bring in the WWE people, WWF.
I don't know if we did any Ragnarok people. I think we talked about it, but I don't think we talked about what actors we'd want to play them. Okay. I don't remember.
So Steve Buscemi's still free.
Yeah.
He's allowed to come back.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Steve Buscemi. So yeah, I think that's a good Guardians of the Galaxy cast. What are we gonna rate this movie? That's the thing. That's what we're gonna rate it as. I don't know. I'm trying to pick it in my mind.
Right.
I have no idea right now.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think. I really have to focus.
Well, all right. Do you want me to give you a reference? Because I know what number we gave Civil War.
Yeah, I know what number we gave Civil War.
I still put it underneath Civil War.
Definitely.
Because I loved Civil War.
It's definitely under Civil War. It's, I think that, like I said, the last time I saw it was in theaters. Mm-hmm. When I went to go see it, I, barely even knew it existed. It's like, okay, Guardians of the Galaxy are somewhat part of the MCU, whatever. I didn't know Chris Pratt, even, because I'd never watched...
Really?
Parks and Rec.
Mm-hmm.
And so went in there with not knowing what to expect. No expectations.
Right.
But not knowing what to expect of the movie. And it blew me away.
Mm-hmm.
So on that first reaction, after watching...
The very first viewing for Guardians of the Galaxy was incredible.
Yeah, it was amazing.
This second viewing, still really great.
Still very, very good movie. Just, it is...
But it doesn't have that surprise magic that had the first time.
It is an MCU movie.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot has built off of Guardians of the Galaxy itself. Yeah. But it is. That's we've gotten used to that. You see, like, Doctor Strange, Black Panther, Spider-Man, Homecoming. These are all very solid, very good movies. But at the end of the day, they're all MCU movies, very predictable. You know exactly where everything's going. It's got kind of the same kind of beat to it of all that. High quality, but not.
You bring up a good point.
Unique.
We know where each of these movies are going because they've been building to Infinity War. They've been building to Thanos. They've been building to the Infinity Stones from the beginning.
Right.
So they can't really surprise us anymore. Yeah. That's something I hadn't considered before.
But we're looking at it now with that lens. When we saw Guardians of the Galaxy the first time, this was new stuff. Because they didn't put color in the movies.
Right.
Like, Thor Ragnarok would not look how it looked if it wasn't for the success of Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's true.
I'm certain of it. And Infinity War does that too. And Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange is incredible.
Fantastic.
So many interesting things happening there.
Very, very good. And a lot of that stems from Guardians of the Galaxy, which kind of makes the movie itself, in retrospect, not look as good because they've improved on some of those things.
But it's very influential in that.
Very influential. So, but I would say you rank the movies based on their context.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know? It's context being right now.
Yeah, how you felt while watching it.
Yeah, how does it feel? How much would I want to watch it again compared to some of these other movies?
Right.
So, I think with that in mind, I think I've got maybe what my score is. I think so.
Yeah, I've been bouncing back and forth in a range.
Yeah. So, you gotta write yours down. I meant to bring paper up here. I always forget.
I'm just gonna use the one from last time where I had the perfect number.
Yeah, that was a really good call. So you're gonna write on that side, then I'm gonna write on the other side of it. And it's all like I say every time.
No, you made me hold it last time, so I'm gonna hold it while you do it.
I didn't remember that. Just make sure, just so you don't get confused.
Mine's in the upper left corner.
Okay, mine's like just in the up center.
Okay.
I feel like we would have figured that out because it's in pencil and the other one's in pen. Okay, turn around.
On now.
Okay, so you put 80. You put 85. I was thinking 85, and I ended up putting 84 when we were talking about the. I talked myself down a little bit from the comparing it to Black Panther and Doctor Strange and
that's true. Because when you brought those up, I thought I'd sooner watch Doctor Strange or Black Panther than this.
I like Guardians of the Galaxy a lot. Very funny. Not as laugh out loud funny anymore.
Right.
Much funnier on the first viewing.
Yep.
I think Marvel movies in general have that problem. I've noticed. Because in Civil War, I remember really, really thinking Spider-Man was very, very funny.
Yeah.
But then watching it through, I was like, that's funny.
Like,
yeah.
It's charming.
Yeah. It's neat.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen Homecoming again since the first time. I assume a lot of that's going to be similar.
Yeah.
It happened to me in Infinity War too. Things I thought funny. They just don't stick as laugh out loud funny.
Yeah.
On a lot of it.
I agree.
Although I would say Avengers doesn't suffer from that problem most of the time. I always think it's funny when he says that the guy's playing Galaga. It's always funny every time. The guy's playing Galaga. He didn't think we'd notice, but we did. Just that whole delivery of it is fantastic. It's always good. And that scene where Thor is talking about the whatever monsters, it kind of reminds him of that. It's like, you don't have those on Earth? No, I don't think we do. Like, yeah, it's really funny.
Yeah, I think Thor is one of the most charming and funny characters, at least in the older films. Ragnarok kind of loses a lot of that.
Right.
But
yeah. So yeah, 80, 84, 85. Let's see where that ranks amongst our other movies. Let me look. Okay, so what is the 84.5 is what it is?
Yeah.
Okay, so that puts it at number 2.
Number 2.
Underneath Civil War.
What's the other one in the 80s?
There are no other ones in the 80s.
Really?
So that's another one. No. The one beneath that is Deadpool at 73.5. So
it's quite the gap.
Yeah, now it's Civil War, then Guardians of the Galaxy, Deadpool, Spider-Man 3, and The Amazing Spider-Man. Those are the top 5 Marvel movies of all time right now.
What decade have we not hit yet?
We've
got all the way down to 40, don't we?
Yeah. Let's see. We've got 2 in the 60s, but we don't have 100, obviously. Then we don't have 20 or 10.
We have one in the 30. Was that Blade?
Yes. No. Blade's 41.
Blade's 41.
The Amazing Spider-Man 2 is at 39. It's the worst one.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
It's the worst one. And now, well...
And it's only a 2-point difference.
It's only a 2-point difference. And you rated Blade way higher than I rated it.
Right.
So, and we were very similar on The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
But yeah, on average, we would rather see Blade than we want to see The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Right.
So, we initially, like, the first couple episodes, we did we talked about the number, and we were like, give a whatever, without, like, writing it down and not knowing what the other one's saying. Because obviously, if you say a number, it's going to influence. Yeah, the other way around, right? Although, the more we've been separate without actually saying a number, the closer we've been on those numbers. Yeah. Like, we both gave Civil War a 92. Like, and we've just been, like, just a couple points away from each other.
Yeah, generally.
Yeah, it's weird. I feel like actually us talking and the number influencing actually split our points apart farther than bringing them closer together.
Right.
Which is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's not relevant to the movie. But you know what is relevant to the movie? I'm hooked on a feeling.